Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem, Jane. On this day, 24 years ago, I was living in Denmark. I had my own apartments and I had a visit from my younger sister. We were watching a movie. Back then it was the video machine, you put in the tape. And we made a bathroom break and I ran to the bathroom and my sister shut off the VCR. And then the TV automatically went on live TV. All of a sudden my sister is screaming loudly and the tone of her voice told me that something is wrong. So I quickly ran into my living room, and when I'm watching the TV, I saw that there's this high-rise that's on fire, and the TV is saying that a plane had just hit one of the towers in New York. I asked my sister, what is this? Are we watching another movie? And she says, no, Jane, this is live. And then, like the rest of the world, I watched in horror as the second plane hit the Twin Tower and they collapsed in New York. And on that day, a special portal from hell opened and an evil one was unleashed into the world. That was 24 years ago today. Being born and raised in Denmark, naturally Denmark has a special place in my heart. But besides that, so does America, and naturally so does Israel, as I have come to call my home now for more than 10 years. My grandfather was the youngest of a very large group of children. When he was born, the two oldest sons had already left the home, and they immigrated. They took the boat and traveled for a month to America. So when my grandfather was 18, 19 years old, he traveled to America to meet his siblings for the first time. So naturally, I have a strong connection to America. I have a sister living over there, and I have a lot of relatives from my grandfather's two brothers who settled in America, made a life for themselves, married, and naturally have a large family over there. So today we honor, remember, and we mourn all the people who were brutally murdered on the September 11 attack, brutal attack on America, on New York. I was actually in America on my first trip when I was 18, backpacking through America with a friend of mine on Greyhound buses, on Amtrak trains, and we were in the Twin Towers when I was there in 1991 for the first time. So that is what I would have spoken about today on this very special day where we honor and remember and we stand with America. But then things changed last night. And today I'm grieved. And today, like the rest of the world, I'm mourning the brutal assassination of a young father, of a husband, of an American patriot who was brutally murdered yesterday. When he was speaking his heart, his mind, his opinion to a group of young people in Utah, America. I had just turned off the light. It was late at night here in Israel, and I was getting ready to go to sleep. And then I see news coming out that Charlie Kirk had been shot at. There had been an attempt on his life. And I ran and I turned on my TV and I watched in horror as you saw the video of him being hit and grabbed his neck. It was horrific images. And I was lying actually on my couch watching the news, and I was like, God help, God please intervene. This precious young man who was a Christian, who boldly shared his faith in Jesus, who stood for family, for marriage, for truth, for justice, and was a proud supporter of Israel and the Holy Land. He had been here to Israel twice. I never got a chance to meet him or get to know him. But first and foremost, he was a father and he was a husband. And then about an hour later, the announcement came from the President of the United States that Charlie Kirk has died in the hospital. Today, I'm mourning someone that I didn't even know. But this attack on him, on freedom, on free speech, of a young man who said, "I will debate anyone, just bring it," who traveled around America to just share his faith, share his views, share his beliefs, and was willing in a calm and collected way to debate anyone who disagreed with him, who never hurt anyone, who never mistreated anyone or yelled at anyone or called anyone name, but always was calm and respectful. I'm sending my deepest condolences to his beautiful, precious young wife and his 2 children, who is now going to grow up without a father, who was savagely robbed of his life at the age of only 31. There is evil in this world. Evil was unleashed on September 11, 24 years ago in America. Evil was unleashed on October 7, 2023 here in Israel. And evil was unleashed yesterday in Utah when this precious young man, who just showed up to speak his faith, speak his mind, share his views, was brutally murdered by a coward lying on a rooftop, assassinating him for the whole world to see. So today I'm grieving. I feel a pain in here that's hard to describe. And in the midst of this, I finally fell asleep last night. And then I woke up. I live in Israel. So once again, the vile Houthis in Yemen tried to murder me by sending another ballistic missile. This time the path was not towards Jerusalem. So that's how we woke up this morning. I just had my landlords, which is a precious elderly couple, stop by and picking up the rent. And when they left, I looked outside my window and there was this young couple who came out of a car, and they're hugging and kissing, saying goodbye. And they were just so precious. And I was just watching them. And then they separate, and she turns around and take a few steps away, and he walks towards the car, and then you can see that he's calling out for her, calling her back, and embraced her and kissed her again. I'm sorry. And I thought about the wife of Charlie Kirk, who's never gonna get another kiss or another embrace. It is absolutely devastating. It is absolutely devastating. And when I saw them here in Israel, I was thinking, things are so unpredictable here. Things are so unpredictable with rockets and the war and whatnot. So I think that's probably why he just squeezed her. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sit here and cry. That's probably why he just grabbed her again and kissed her and squeezed her, because here in Israel, you never know. You never know when the next ballistic missile is gonna hit, and you never know when there's gonna be another terror attack. And the reason why I'm also emotional is because earlier when I went through my Instagram feed, all of a sudden I see this teenager, this beautiful young girl who's crying, and she had to go to the cemetery and bury her father because he was brutally murdered 3 days ago in a heinous terror attack here in Israel. So living here, you never know when terror is gonna hit. You never know when the next ballistic missile or drone is gonna hit. So that's why he probably just squeezed, either it was his wife or girlfriend, a little harder, and he just needed to just grab her and have another kiss. So we are definitely living in times where evil is going rampant around the world. So I just wanted to say that today I'm sending my condolences to Erica, the beautiful wife of Charlie Kirk. May his memory forever be a blessing. He stands out as his own. There will be anyone like him. I hope there will be 1 million like him, because he was so special and he was so extraordinary. He was a leader born for greatness. Maybe even a future president of the United States was murdered last night. He truly, truly was unique and special, chosen for such a time as this, and his life was cut short when a coward took his life last night. So America, today we mourn with you, we grieve with you, we stand with you, and we honor the memory. May his memory forever be a blessing, Charlie Kirk. May your memory forever be a blessing. May you rest in peace in the arm of Jesus that we know you're doing right now. You were really, really an inspiration to follow, to just be proud and boldly speak about your faith and your beliefs. That's what he did, and that's how the whole world got to know him. So America, we stand with you on this day where you remember 24 years ago today when the Twin Towers came down and so many people were brutally murdered. So America and Israel, we stand united, and we are grateful for the friendship of Donald Trump and his vice president and his whole administration here in Israel, and for all the marvelous things that you have done, standing shoulder with shoulder with us for such a time as this. Bye.